Hey everyone, so I finally got enough questions to do a Q&A video. Um, so that's what I'm doing. I kind of separated them into eating disorder, non-eating disorder related questions. Um, so I'm going to start with the eating disorder related ones. Uh, yeah, all right. How did your eating disorder begin and how old were you? The definite time frame that I could narrow it down to would be 13, 14. It was, I think, between my 8th and ninth grade years. I don't even know really, I can't specifically pinpoint when or how it began, just because even before that, I was a little messed up. But what I can narrow it down to in that time frame when I can actually say it became an eating disorder was that I had just made show choir and we were trying on dresses, and I just came aware of my body, I guess, and just throughout that year, like, I don't know what happened. I think I just kind of felt like things were going right. Like, I made first chair flute, made show choir, started competing in vocal competitions and doing well, making honor roll, like everything just kind of snapped into place all of a sudden, and I felt like my body was the only thing that wasn't going right. Um, so that's as much as I can be specific about it. What's your biggest fear foods? I don't really have the typical fear foods. I'll kind of try to give you an idea without getting too triggering. I have more of certain calorie allotments that I'm not allowed, like specific foods are not allowed to have over a specific amount of calories in them. So I guess the biggest fear foods would be like calorie dense single items. Nuts would be one. I used to have a really big fear of bars. I'm kind of starting to get over that. Um, yeah. Why did you choose recovery? I think it was because I was just tired of living like this, and I kind of have to figure out what life is like without it. And I kind of want to figure out who I am without it. Uh, yeah. And it says, do you even regret it and what it affect? I'm assuming that's what it affect. Um, I don't think I'm at the point yet that I can regret it or it's affected anything. Um, just with the way my therapy is going and everything else, I don't know yet. I almost don't feel like I'm in recovery yet. I'm just kind of here. Did you lose friends because of your eating disorder? Not that I really know of. If anything, it's because I've pushed them away, but not because I've had an eating disorder. Has your eating disorder been affected by your religious beliefs? If so, how? Yes, majorly. Um, that is actually one of the biggest problems for me. Um, just, and I wouldn't even say my religious beliefs that has affected it. It's been more of the religious beliefs that have been imposed on me and what I grew up with, and that was very much perfectionistic, do this or you're going to hell. We were a very, very conservative family, and yeah, and just hypocrisy is so rampant in the church that we were at. Yeah, it was really bad for me and religion. So now I'm kind of grown out of it, and kind of, I wouldn't say grown out of it, but just the beliefs that I've grown up with, I've come to realize aren't necessarily the right thing. Yeah. What's your biggest trigger for your eating disorder? Uh, well, it kind of goes back into how it began, I guess. And that is, when it began, things in my life were seemingly going right. There was a lot of stuff behind the surface that obviously was not all that great. But everything else, all the external factors, were good. And now I think that it is more of me trying to go back to that. Like somehow I have it in my head that losing weight makes everything else better. It makes the whole world better. It makes my life better. That good things will start happening if I lose weight. Okay, that's it for the eating disorder questions. When was the last time you cried? 4 years ago. I won't get into too much of, actually I probably won't get into that at all, but yeah, it was 4 years ago. I remember it specifically. If you could have one wish come true, what would it be? A decent job right now. I just want one job that supports me, that pays my bills. Health insurance would be nice, vacation would be nice, sick days would be nice. Moving out on my own would be awesome. Yeah, that's probably my biggest wish right now. That or winning the lottery, one of the two. What is your greatest fear? Probably that things aren't going to get any better. I'm kind of stuck this way. What made you want to study law? I've always been told that I would make a good lawyer because I can make a rational argument for anything. And I think that's kind of it. I don't necessarily want to study law. I want to practice it. And there's a reason they call it practicing it. It's not an exact science. You have something, it's kind of like going back into the religion thing for a second, that people don't like to think of right and wrong. There's a lot of gray areas, and there can be, I don't know. And I don't necessarily want to be a lawyer. I have to become one to become what I want to be, which is a mediator. And that's kind of just taking the law, and sometimes it's, the case does not fit specifically into that law. And just doing mediation gives everybody a chance to come to a mutual agreement that benefits everyone. And it's not a winner and not a loser. It's just justice. It's more justice than the actual law can be. Would you ever want to have kids? Why not? I have always wanted kids. Actually, I have wanted 11 pretty much my entire life. I have names for all of them. Yeah. I'm probably not having 11 at this point. At this point, I'll be lucky if I have any. But I have had the thought that of doing foster care. I'd really love to do that. Do you hate phone calls, dirt, supermarkets, football games, sewing, art, dot, dot, dot? I guess basically, what do I hate? I hate sports, which is really funny being a bartender. I cannot stand them. I have, well, I take that back. I like playing sports. I like going to games sometimes. I do not like watching sports on TV. I find it a waste of time. Um, yeah, I'm not big on the phone calls either. That's written there. Okay. Do you like reading? Do you have any favorite books, and what have you read recently? Yeah. That is my bookshelf. I think it's safe to say I like to read. Uh, I I hate being asked favorites because I have tons and tons. I'm just looking at my bookshelf. I could probably pick out 5 or 6 that I consider favorites. Let's see, A Fine and Private Place. That's one of my favorites. 13 Reasons Why. I liked that. Unwind. Uh, I don't know what that trilogy is called, but I really like it. It's by Susan Beth Pfeiffer, I think is her name. I can't read it from here. But the first book is called Life as We Knew It, and it's a trilogy, and I love it. Yeah, I won't go any further because I could just sit here and read off all the books basically because I wouldn't know them if I didn't like them. What have I read recently? Actually, The Future of Us, which is not on my list of favorite books. I didn't like it. Okay. What's your favorite food? Cheese, I guess. Yeah. What's your biggest regret? I have lots, 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 lots of regrets. But probably the biggest would be not, sorry, this is going to get kind of personal. Not speaking about my home life. And the abuse and everything else. I basically had the fear of God put in me about foster care and was reminded fairly regularly that if my grandparents hadn't taken me in, I would have ended up in foster care. Like, you know how you hear stories on the news that, some foster parents have locked their kids in a cage or did some horrific thing to them. And anytime something like that would come on, I would get that could have been you if we didn't take you. And so me saying anything to anyone about the things that were going on at home, I was terrified that I'd be put in foster care, and I probably would have been. It's only now and for a few years that I realize I might have been better off. I don't know, obviously, but it might have been worth a shot because, yeah, things could have been better. Okay, and what's your favorite childhood memory? I just have to say the neighborhood I grew up in. I loved it. It was basically lived at the end of a very long dead-end street. And then there was a cul-de-sac that went right behind where we lived. So it was basically dead ends, like it was 2 U's, like almost heart-shaped. And there was a lot of kids, and most of them were around my age. And so, like, we'd just all be between each other's houses playing. We could play baseball in the middle of the street. That kind of thing. Like, I liked the neighborhood I grew up in. And I wish it's just you could ride your bike anywhere. You didn't have to worry about getting abducted or anything. It was just a very nice, safe neighborhood. Okay, that's it for now. I had a few others that I just kind of edited out because I knew this was going to start getting long. But that is it, and I hope you all are having a great day. Bye.